This the first time that this game has been played on Christmas Day?
On Christmas Day, yeah. The Giants cannot win in Philly over recent history. 10 straight road losses in Philly, including last year's playoffs, which was an embarrassment. They were down 38-0 before it started. The last time the Giants went into Philly and won, Tom Coughlin was the head coach. Wow. That's how long it has been. And I have a feeling somewhere under the table or somewhere back there, Boston Scott's about to run through and have a touchdown. Boston Scott has 9 games against the Giants, has 11 career touchdowns. I don't know if he does anything against anyone else, but Boston Scott is the Giants killer, and he's somewhere, and he's about to run in and scamper in 2 more touchdowns.
That's the true Boston-New York rivalry.
Yeah.
Boston Scott versus the New York Giants.
We're just studying Boston Scott film. I'm looking at the veterans on this Eagles football team. We just talked about Jalen Hurts and his comments, but from Jason Kelsey to Lane Johnson to Brandon Graham to Fletcher Cox, all of these guys we always talk about, the grandfathers of that team, what they're going through right now. Somebody step up, make a play. Kelsey talked about and took he took ownership over his penalty in the game this past. Now they have to show up and do something on the field. There's no point of having this veteran-led team if your vets aren't showing up in adversity.
Jalen Hurts has never lost 4 games in a row in the NFL, in college. This is uncharted water for him. The fact that we're talking about, I don't know, this DeVito thing, like, it should be such a slap in the face to Philadelphia at home against a team you've won against a decade. You should wreck this team. If they lose this, it's the Eagles' apocalypse. We'll see you in the wild card round. Try not to lose to the Rams.
Let's go to another less disastrous division rivalry with implications still pretty heavy between the Lions and the Vikings in the Midwest. The Vikings are at home. They're actually doing a winter whiteout game. Everyone's going to sew up. It's going to look like snow in Minneapolis. Okay. The Lions are trying to clinch the NFC North for the first time in 30 years, Jason.
Kind of late for a winter whiteout game.
Why?
I feel like that's early in the season stuff. Now it's like, all right, we got to figure out how we're going to finish this. And talked to O'Connell last week, and it was like, try to take care of Cincinnati, and they had a chance to win the division. I felt like they squandered a great opportunity last week. That Lions team was absolutely rolling against the Denver Broncos. Goff looked to be back on track. I don't see them slowing down in this game. Laporta, Montgomery, the whole crew, Gibbs, I think they're going to continue to get going against this Vikings team.
O'Connell's coaching his ass off, isn't he? I mean, all year he's trying. The Nick Mullins thing they tried. Nick Mullins played well. Nick Mullins is 5-13 as a starter in the NFL, and you feel like O'Connell's got that bar up, and he's just trying, and he needs the spot. I feel for him. The quarterback problems have just been so bad.
If the Lions win, they win the division.
Yeah.
It'd be the first time since 1993. The #1 movie in America this week in 1993 was Mrs. Doubtfire. Yes. The #1 song was I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. The #2 song in America, the last time the Lions won a division title, was Whoomp, There It Is.
Oh, tag team back again? Look out.
Let's go.
Back it up.
It's been a while. Enjoy it. You know, Lions fans, go out there and don't make this, don't sweat it out the final 2 weeks. Go take care of business this week.
All right, last one for this round of Mad Minute. It's Cowboys, it's Dolphins. Jason, somehow we're going to eke out 1 more minute on this game.
Yeah, these two teams, they put points up, and that's the one thing you love to see as a football fan, team scoring. So between Tua Tagovailoa and Dak Prescott, these two quarterbacks are always doubted. They're always talked about no matter what happens after a game, good, bad, or indifferent. So I'm fascinated to see which one of these teams come out where we're saying, you know what, they've taken the next step, and the other team we're like, all right, well, maybe they were a little, what'd you say, fugazi yesterday? Maybe they are a little bit of that.
It means a fake. Yeah, some people get fugazi Christmas presents. I would say the Dolphins win this game, and we get rid of that very, very tired, you've never beaten anybody. I'm sick of hearing about that. I like this Dolphins team. They're exciting. And if they do beat the Cowboys, don't double back and be like, well, they still haven't beaten anybody because the Cowboys got crushed by the Bills. That doesn't, no, it counts. They're a 10-win team. If they do it, it's over. I'm tired of that storyline.
Dallas was embarrassed on national TV last week against the Bills on the road. Don't get embarrassed again on national TV, and it could happen.
Yeah.
Mostert, Tyreek, Waddle. Sounds like everyone's ready to go, and they're at full go. If we're talking about Dallas losing 2 in a row on the road on national TV with everyone watching at home on Christmas Eve, we'll see you Monday.
Yeah, which narrative are we more sick of? Cowboys can't win on the road, or the Dolphins can't beat anybody good?
It's close. I think it's the Dolphins one. That's been going on for like 4 months or something like that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, the #9 song, real quick, was Rump Shaker by Rex and Effect. Just telling you.
All I want to do is zoom in the...
All right, following the Eagles' loss to the Seahawks on Monday night, Jalen Hurts talked about the Eagles not being committed enough. It was a very odd choice of words. He was asked to explain himself that night. He said he didn't bring his dictionary, so then he was asked again yesterday to explain those comments.
What I'm saying is everything starts with me. I set the tone. I'm the temperature. You know, I set the temperature for the room. I set all of that. And I'm challenging myself to be better in all aspects. know the standard I hold myself to, and I put that standard out there. And so the reality is everybody else holds me to that standard too. But the only one that matters is my teammates. The only one that matters is my coaches. Just challenging myself to be everything I need to be for this team. And it takes true togetherness to win. And winning is hard to do. And you know, you have to accept the challenges of what comes with that. And we're just pressing forward. We're pressing forward. We got a great opportunity in front of us.
Okay, so he took some ownership there, and he knows a lot about winning. Jalen Hurts does. So, Peter, your reaction, maybe from when we heard it on Sunday until now, or on Monday night?
We knew it as a show. When you heard the word committed, it's such a triggering word because it means that people aren't, you know, all in, and that's what you have to be in Week 16. So I believe this was a conversation internally. Like, you can say a lot of stuff at that point. You can't say that the team's not committed and that you're not committed. So sure enough, we see that. He comes back out of it. I'll tell you what, I'm always, you know, painted as Pollyanna with the Giants, that they're going to, like, Giants haven't quit either. They lost this week against the Saints. They're going back to DeVito. The Giants would love nothing more than to spoil Christmas in Philadelphia, and they're going to come in there and try to beat them. And the Eagles have to get their act together. This is not a gimme game, and they know that, but hostile environment for sure for the Giants to go into, a young team, but Jalen Hurts and the Eagles need to tighten things up. And that defense, when it matters, not the first 40 minutes, but the last 20 minutes, have to tighten things up because they just got gutted by Drew Lock, 92 yards in less than 2 minutes. And that might be why they're going on the road during the playoffs as opposed to at home.
Yeah, well, Hurts comments, the one thing we've learned over the course of his young career is every time he steps up to a microphone, he says something that we want to comment on, that we want to kind of repost and talk about it because it's so thoughtful in the things that he says. But when he got up to the podium and he said that commitment thing, we all looked at it like, wow, that's not typically the statement he said. So what I just saw, what he said was, you know what, I understand that. I'm just going to put it all on me. I'm not going to come in here and explain exactly what I was saying. I'm not going to talk about anybody else in the locker room. I'm the quarterback. I'm the leader of this team. I got all the praise last year as a possible MVP candidate, us making it to the Super Bowl. Now I'm just going to put it all. I have to show up for us to be able to win football games. So we're going in. You just mentioned the Giants. All eyes are on Jalen Hurts. You make comments like that, you have to back that up now and show up for your teammates. So I appreciated him putting it back on him, but it doesn't take away from the commitment comment he made after the game.
Yeah, I respect the first version. I like the first version. It's obviously authentic. He was emotional. He had no filter. He came off after another loss and said how he felt. 3 days later, PR, rethinking, calm down. It's artificial. He looked around and thinks that there's some guys, maybe including himself, who aren't as committed as they need to be at this point in the season. And as the star quarterback, I think it's his right to say. I like that he said it. I mean, I can remember a few years back, the Packers used to have this habit of going to California and getting destroyed, whether it be by the Niners or the Chargers. And Rodgers was just like, look, some of these guys have to look at what we're doing when we go on these trips and how they're carrying themselves like professionals. Like, it was not subtle. It's like, you've been an idiot, you've been an idiot. I think Jalen Hurts is at the point in this season now where he has the equity among that team to be like, look, I see guys aren't where they need to be. Own that. Stick with that. You can do that. We know what you meant. So go out and prove it now. But I never like the walk back. I appreciate why you have to do it, but I like the first version, and that's the one everyone should listen to.
Maybe he didn't walk it back in the locker room. Maybe he went to those guys and said, I said what I said. I'm going to go out and take it back, but you heard what I said the first time. And to Kyle's point, I think he's built up